always happen right before life's greatest breakthroughs. Usually, you experience a situation where you feel a little dejected, nothing happens, you try a lot, and you reach a stage where you want to give up. But that is a stage where you should not give up. The next step is going to be a positive one. So that is a stage you have to hold it. Then you get success. That's what it means. A very useful quote. Still, this paper is really, in a way, tests your patience. Right or wrong? How many aspects have been touched? 8 aspects. And the passage, straight away, when you see the passage, you are off the track, clean bowled, right? How many words are there? I think about 2 pages plus, am I right? More than 1,000 words. But always remember, this is what I have been telling. A passage, 1,000 words plus. The questions are usually damn easy. Always remember that. And this is a typical example. And one more thing here. Passage, one problem, too many words. Another problem, no questions related to vocabulary. All the questions based on comprehension. Right or wrong? But always remember, don't be hasty. You see a 1,000-word passage, you don't see questions related to words. It doesn't mean that you should not touch the passage. This is a passage where you can get all the 10 correct. The questions are so easy. But you got to be very positive and read the passage. Idioms, how many questions are there? I think 2 or 3. 3 questions, idioms. All the 3 are rather easy. Words, to some extent, difficult. Usage, rather easy. Phrases, again, easy, based on grammar knowledge. Paragraph related, very difficult, really difficult, and time-taking. Fillers are rather easy, based on your reading habit. And errors, all the 5 you should get right. Okay. A paper like this, how should you answer the questions? You should start with errors. How many questions? 5 questions. Then you should go to idioms. How many questions? 3 questions. Then phrases. Then usage. After that, fillers and passage. Finally, you should go to confusing words. I think there are 3 questions, am I right? And each question about 3 pairs or 4 pairs. Very difficult to make out. And the paragraphs, not that easy. By the time you answer all these questions, you run out of time. Very simple. So I don't think you'll get enough time to answer the last 2. What are they? Confusing words and paragraphs. A very tough paper that way. Because so many questions are there, it's a lengthy passage. Today I'm not going to read out individually the meanings of the words. Straight away I'll go to the questions. Shall I do that? Based on the time, we'll see. I have brought all the words, but we are running out of time. So what is this passage about? This passage is about pollution. It is more about what? Water pollution. Am I right? And the writer gives a lot of statistics, a lot of facts and figures, and many questions are based on explicit information. All of you take the hard copy. I'm going to tell where you find the answer. For every question, you can straight away go there and get the answer. As simple as that. First, I'll read out the question. Question number 1. The degradation of natural resources will necessarily lead to. Please underline the word degradation. Degradation means what? Deteriorate, come down in standards, lose power or vigor, whatever it is. Now all of you please go to the first paragraph, second sentence. I will read out the first paragraph, second sentence. This is a desirable development in the face of the alarming rate of natural resource degradation. Underline the word degradation, which greatly hampers their optimal utilization. First paragraph, second sentence. I repeat. I want all of you to be attentive. Everything is there. And before I go to the answer for the first question, I want all of you to number the paragraphs. Please do that first. We have 10 paragraphs in this passage. Please number them. Then we save our time. Please number the paragraphs quickly, 1 to 10. Then when I say the second, the third paragraph, the first sentence, it will be easy for us to locate. You should get 10 paragraphs. 10 or 11? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, fine. 11 paragraphs, a lengthy passage. Now, shall we go to the first question? So, go to the first paragraph, second sentence, underline the word degradation. What is the key word here? Degradation. But also underline optimal utilization. And after that, underline the verb hampers. In the same sentence, you have three key words. One is degradation, second is hampers, third is optimal utilization. First, degradation, you know the meaning. Now let me ask you a question. What is the meaning of the word hamper? Hamper, before you answer, I will ask one more question. Which part of speech is it? Is it a noun or a verb? It's both. As a noun, generally we say a gift hamper. As a noun, what does it mean? A basket with something. Usually it is, there are two meanings. One meaning, it is taken when you go on a picnic, you take some stuff, a basket with a handle. The second meaning, a basket with food items for a special occasion. Generally, that context we use the expression gift hamper. But as a verb, what is the meaning? Hamper means what? Block, impediment, impede, obstruct. So hamper means what? Obstruct. So obstruct what? Optimal utilization. Already have underlined the word optimal. Means what? Maximum utilization. Please write the meaning. Maximum utilization. Now we'll see the options. The degradation of natural resources will necessarily lead to poor economic utilization of resources, contamination of water from municipal sewage, water unfit for human consumption, deforestation. First you strike off deforestation. It is not relevant here. Water unfit for human consumption. This is also not relevant. Strike off that also. Contamination of water. He talks about the resources and will lead to what? Water from contamination of water. Perhaps it is there. But what is the first option? Poor economic utilization of resources. The meaning of the second sentence and this option, one and the same. So based on that, what is the answer? The first option is the answer. It hampers optimal utilization. Means what? Poor economic utilization of resources. Both mean one and the same. Have you got it? How many of you have got this one right? That's good, pretty good. According to NEERI, this is an acronym. All of you please go to the second paragraph, the first sentence. Same wording you see. According to the National Environment Engineering and Research Institute, that is NEERI, a staggering 70% of water available in the country is polluted. This guy who has said this paper, a little playful, same information, he wanted to test the candidate's presence of mind. One place he used the numbers, another place he has used the words, but information is the same. Here please underline according to. What is the key word here? According to what? Also underline the word NEERI. So what does the sentence say? 70% of water available in the country is polluted. Now what is, which option says that? 70% of total water available in the country is polluted. So what is the answer here? Now do you want me to explain why other options are not correct? I don't think we have to do that. It sounds ridiculous. So how is it different? There he has used the numbers, here he has used the words. Easy question or difficult question? Question number 3. municipal sewage pollutants account for. Now all of you please go to paragraph 3, the third sentence. Paragraph 3, the third sentence, I'll read out. The pollution of the much revered Ganga is due in particular to municipal sewage that accounts for 3/4 of its population load, pollution load. Please underline 3/4. 3/4 is, if you have to convert into numbers, a percentage, what is it? 75%. So which option talks about that? So what is the answer? 75% of the Ganga's water pollution load. Easy or difficult? So, very simple. I hope there is no problem. Question number 4. Which of the following statements is correct? Now all of you please go to, what is this about? Please go to 5th paragraph, the second page, page 2. Page 2, the first sentence, what does it talk about? Actually, we have to start with, no problem, it doesn't matter. Or we'll move on to the second sentence over there. I will repeat, page 2, the second sentence. The Periyar, the largest river of Kerala, receives extremely toxic effluent that result in high incidence of skin problems and fish kills. Please underline the river Periyar. Also underline of Kerala. Which of the following statements is correct? I'll read out the first one. Hope you are listening carefully. The river Periyar is in South India. Periyar belongs to which state? Kerala is in south or north? So is this right or wrong? The river Periyar is the largest river of Kerala. Mentioned or not mentioned? So right or wrong? Right. The river Gomiti is also extremely polluted. In the same paragraph, you please go to the last sentence, last but one line. On page 2, the first, whatever you see the paragraph, the last but one line, how does it go? The Gomiti in UP, the Narmada in MP, and the Sone and the other rivers in Bihar, they are no different. So what is the next option? The river Gomiti is also extremely polluted. Right or wrong? So, what is the problem? Is there any problem? So what is the fourth option? All of the above are correct. So what is the answer here? The fourth option. The cost of the Clean-the-Ganga pollution project action plan is likely to be sourced from. All of you please go to the 7th paragraph. How does it go, or what does it talk about? The recent Clean-the-Ganga project with an action plan estimated to cost the Exchequer. Please underline the word Exchequer. Means what? The national treasury. Exchequer rupees 250 crore, which has been accorded top priority, is a trendsetter in achieving this goal. The action plan evoked such great interest that offers of assistance have been received from France, UK, US, and the Netherlands, as also from the World Bank. This is indeed laudable. Poland too has now joined this list. How many countries have been listed out? 5 countries. Total 7 players are there. Who are the 7 players? 5 countries, 1 from North American continent and 4 from Europe. Then the World Bank, then India obviously. Now we'll see the options. What does the fourth option say? The US, UK, Netherlands, Poland, France. How many countries? 5 countries. The World Bank, 6th player, and India, the 7th player. So right, which option is right? Fourth option. Easy question or difficult question? Remember the other day we could not get the capital of Netherlands, Amsterdam. So shall I move on to the next question? So far easy or difficult? Which of the following statements made by the WHO is correct? Now you have to go to the 6th paragraph. How does it start? Hope you are checking the paragraphs. According to the WHO, 80% of the diseases prevalent in India are waterborne. 80%. What is the first option? Waterborne diseases account for 80% of all diseases prevalent in India. Same thing or not? Only there the numbers and here percentage and here the words. Am I right? Or there words and here also words. No change at all. So please tick that one. Waterborne diseases in India create a loss of rupees 600 crores every year. In the same paragraph, he talks about the same thing. A loss of how many man days? 73 million man days due to waterborne diseases, costing rupees 600 crore. Is it true or not true? Now, what is the third option here? Only one is correct. What is the fourth option? Both 1 and 2 are correct. So, what is the answer? The fourth option is the answer. I should have asked this question. How many of you have read this passage? Raise your hands. That is amazing. What? Did I say something wrong? Shall I move on to the next one? Shall I or not? Considerable amounts of metal pollutants. It has just started or it has been there for some time? Mic problem. So what is the question number? Question number 7. Is it loud and clear? Okay. So considerable amounts of metal pollutants are found in the river or rivers. Now all of you please go to page 1, the 5th paragraph. Page 1, 5th paragraph. And the third sentence, how does it go? A recent study reveals that the water of the Ganga, Yamuna, Kali and Hindan rivers have considerable concentration of heavy metals due to inflow of industrial waste. How many rivers have been mentioned here? 1, 2, 3, 4 rivers, right? Then he says, please go to the next page. Similarly, the Kaveri and Kapila rivers in Karnataka have been found to contain metal pollution which threatens the health of people in riverine towns. Total how many rivers? 6 rivers. Which option has all these rivers? Fourth option. So what is the answer here? Fourth option is the answer. Again, easy or difficult? The crisis of drinking water is caused chiefly by. Now please go to page 2, the 9th paragraph. I hope it's loud and clear. 9th paragraph, the first sentence, what does it talk about? The crisis of drinking water is deepening because water resources are drying up. Please underline drying up, one reason, and the lowering of groundwater through over-pumping. Underline over-pumping. The sentence gives 2 reasons for the crisis of drinking water. Now we'll check the options. What is the first option? The greenhouse effect. Is it right or wrong? Water pollution caused by industrial development. Wrong. Drying up of water sources and over-pumping. Same words have been used in the passage. So the third option is right. We'll check other options. Increasing urbanization. No. None of the above. But what is the answer here? The third option is the answer. Again, easy question. Shall I move on to the next one? The best remedy for water shortage lies in. Now, all of you go to the 10th paragraph. Am I right? 10th or 11th paragraph. The second sentence I'll read out. This indicates a waste level of 20 to 35% of the total flow of water in the distribution system, primarily due to leaks in mains and household service pipes. Preventive maintenance program would substantially reduce losses, wastages, and would certainly go a long way in solving the problem. Now we'll see the options. The best remedy. What is the key word here? Underline the word remedy. Remedy means what? Solution. Putting up more pumps in rural areas. Right or wrong? Cleaning up polluted water. Hold that one. Reducing the waste level of 25 to 30% of the total flow of water. Now, has it been mentioned in the passage or not? I have just read out. This indicates a waste level of 20 to 35%. But here it says what? 25 to 30. But the passage says 20 to 35. The numbers have been changed. So you cannot consider that option. What is the second option? Cleaning up polluted water. Constructing large-sized dams. So you have to decide between the second and the fourth. Which one is better? The second option. So what is the answer here? The second option is the answer. Shall I move on to the next question? Out of the total outlay for water supply and sanitation in the 7th plan, a rural water supply sector would receive. Now all of you please go to the 10th paragraph. There he talks about the outlay, how much has been in the 7th plan. Can you see the 7th plan? Is it in the same paragraph or a different paragraph? Which one? 11th. Oh, on page 3. So what is the amount? The 7th plan, 6 lakh or 6,522.47 crores. Then the sentence says, for rural water supply sector is 3,454. Now what percentage is that? About 53%. Do you understand what I say? So which option says? The first option. So what is the answer based on that? The first option is the answer. Here you have to calculate if you have enough time. Otherwise you have to give up the question. I would like to know, has anyone got all the 10 correct? Please stand up. Oh. Give him a big hand. One more student or only one? That is really, we have to appreciate. Not that easy. Very good. I appreciate you. Shall I move on to the next set of questions? Give me a minute. If there is any problem, please let me know. Is it loud and clear? Fine. So questions 11 to 13, 3 questions, what do they deal with? Idioms. What is the first one? President Saddam Hussein's effort to annex. Please underline the word annex. I'll show the words later. Annex means what? Add. Usually it goes with literature, writing, and sometimes it goes with polity. You add one more territory or a state, then we use this word. Kuwait was nothing short of setting the Thames on fire. Underline the word Thames. Thames River. Where is it? London, a famous river. So what is the meaning of this? We'll see the options. We'll try to guess the meaning of that particular idiomatic expression based on the context. Try to achieve an impossible distinction. Hold that one. To destroy the country for nothing. So this second option doesn't seem right. To show his power and might. Hold this one also. To make a situation worse. This is also not relevant. You have to decide between try to achieve an impossible distinction, to show his power and might. In this context, I repeat, the third option is right. But generally the meaning of the idiomatic expression, the first option. You can consider both the first option and the third option. Please remember, the typical meaning of this, the first option, do something to show off or to impress someone. But in this context is what? Related to war. So, to show his power and might, please underline the word might. In this context, might means what? Are you guys listening? Might means what? So it is like strength. That's right. Strength, authority. It's a synonym of power. Might means what? Power. Shall I move on to the next one? One should not stay idle. Please underline the word idle. One should not stay idle at home, but be up and doing. What do you understand from the context? Idle means what? Lazy, not doing anything. There is a popular saying in English, what is it? Idle man's brain is the devil's workshop, right? So what is the meaning of this? Sleeping? No. Active? Hold that one. Working? No. Reading? None of these. You have to decide between active and working. Which one precedes? Obviously, if you are active, you will be able to work. So what is the answer based on that? The second option is the answer, active. Question number 13. Mr. Arjun Singh snapped his fingers at Narasimha Rao and got himself in hot water. First, you underline the expression in hot water. What do you understand? In hot water means what? In trouble. That means what? Snap his fingers, positive or negative? Negative. So you have to select an option that is negative. Support. Support is what? Positive. Disregard. Disregard means what? Disrespect. Negative. Hold that one. Deprive. Deprive you got yesterday. What does it mean? To snatch the rights of someone, not to allow someone to enjoy the privileges. But not relevant here. To interfere. Again, not relevant. So what is the answer based on that? To disregard. These are really time-taking and not that easy. So what are these questions? See how the levels, the standards are going up. In the past, they would give only one sentence with two confusing words. But in this question, these questions, how many sentences? One question? 4 sentences. How many pairs? 4 pairs. The meanings of how many words you have to know? 8 words. How many questions have been given? How many questions? 2 or 3? 2. Imagine they give 5 questions. 5 into 4. How many words you have to know? That becomes a problem. You have only 20 minutes. So always remember, nowadays especially, in the past we would not say, tell the students, give this particular tip. In the past the questions were rather easy and not based on the time factor. A lot of time. But these days, every second matters. The questions are based on what? One is higher level of comprehension. The second one, how fast you can read. Very simple. So your presence of mind and your intelligence is, if it takes more time, don't touch that one initially. If it takes less time, touch those questions. Now these questions, imagine you start initially, you lose a lot of precious time. You may get them right, you may not get them right. They're not that easy. Then you get disturbed. With that disturbed mind, you try to answer remaining questions, You may not get easy ones also correct. Very dangerous, okay? Now shall we see the sentences? What is the first one? The change in personnel, please underline the word personnel, means what? Employees of an organization. Human resources manager, also known as personnel manager. Rarely a good sign seem to presage or prequel. Both the words not that easy, but the second one is rather easy. A lot of you must be knowing the word sequel. You know the movie Avatar. They write they're going to take a sequel. Means what? The next one after the existing one. Pre means what? Before. So prequel means what? The one that comes before the existing one or deals with before the existing one. It doesn't go with this context. But what is the meaning of the word presage? So please write. A lot of candidates may not know the meaning of this particular word. It means, or you listen because I'll show what I did yesterday, the same way we'll project that one. It means a sign or warning about something that is imminent. Imminent means what? Likely to happen. And usually a negative thing. We also use the words portend, P-O-R-T-E-N-D, portend, or foretell. You think of the future, but usually it is not positive, it is a negative thing. Now we'll see the context. The change in personnel, rarely a good sign. Rarely a good sign, that is positive or negative? Negative. So here you have to select a word that talks about something negative. Seem to, so which one will you choose, the first word or the second word? So what is the answer here? Please remember, we got A. A is the answer. This is also very difficult to make out. Mr. Kerry made 2 phone calls soliciting, seeking advice from Mr. Clinton. Now what is the meaning of the word? Both are synonyms, mind you. One of the meanings, solicit means to ask. Seek, one of the meanings, to ask. They have got other meanings. Solicit means what? To approach for advice. Approach for what? Advice. And seek also means to try and find out something. You seek information means what? You search for information. You are all called what? Job seekers. You are searching for a job. You are looking for a job. So based on that, this man has approached for advice. So which option do you think is right? Not seeking, soliciting. So what is the answer again? First we got A, second also we got A. Mr. Clinton apparently, probably, told Mr. Kerry to concentrate more on the economy and to step up his attacks on Mr. Bush. Both seem appropriate, both seem right. Hold this one. I don't want to jump to the one of the two. We'll see the next one. What is the last one? That has not stopped John Edwards being warned or praised on the campaign trail by loyalists. They are going to run you right over and make you look like idiots. So here praise or warned? So you got 1A, 2A, 4A. Now you have to decide between one more A or B. The third one, A or B. Now first one is ruled out. Second one is ruled out. You have to decide this or this. Fifth is ruled out. In this context, it is not probably, it is apparently. Because apparent means what? Obvious. Obvious. Generally the president or the former president, what is the priority when they try to think of the future of the country? It is all about economy on one hand. On the other hand, attacking the opponent. So based on that, not probably, apparently. Apparently means what? Obviously. So what is the answer based on that? Which option is that? Third option or fourth option? How many of you have got the third option? Good. I appreciate all those students. It is not that easy, I'm telling you. Even, see, when I say I appreciate, it means a lot. Do you know why? There are two dimensions here. One is being good at English, very rare among the candidates, only 1 or 2%. Convent educated background, really good at English. Second, the time factor. within the stipulated time period, it is not that easy to answer questions like this. So it is highly appreciable. So I mean it. Shall I move on to the next question? What is it? Question number 15. In other words, there is probably much more to gain from promoting a red tape. Please underline the expression red tape, or slashing red tape, than from begging for more aid. So the sentence talks about a choice, either to promote red tape or slashing red tape than from begging for more aid. A red tapeism means what? Bureaucracy, bureaucratic hurdles. Today, if you take our country, it has changed a lot. But before liberalization, before all these new policies, India, it was, people would talk about India, whenever they would talk about India, they would talk about a red tapeism. Red tapeism means what? Bureaucratic hurdles. You want to start an industry, you have to submit so many documents, you have to meet so many officials, and you have to wait for a lot of time. So all these are known as a red tapeism. Now you don't come across red tapeism. So here, is it promoting red tapeism or slashing red tapeism? So what is the answer based on that? B is the answer. Please remember B. Especially since donors, unlike aid travelers in Angola, are not exactly queuing up to open their wallets or freewheeling to open their wallets. You should know the meaning of the word freewheeling. It has got two different meanings. One meaning, it goes with cycling. What does it mean? Imagine you're cycling down the hill. Do you have to cycle in the real sense? All that you have to do, put your legs on the pedals and just relax. The cycle goes down on its own, right or wrong? That is one meaning. The second meaning, not careful, being casual or not being careful. Casual. Have you got the second meaning? So in this context, is it not being casual or queuing up to open their wallets? Which one seems more relevant? It is the first one. The donors, they are not queuing up to open the wallets and donate the funds. The second word doesn't go in this context. So you got B, then you got what? A. Do we have more options? We have two options here. Mr. Putin said after Bashan that we showed ourselves to be weak and the weak get beaten. The implication is that he will now be even tougher in Chechnya. The indication. Now you should know the meaning of the word implication. Implication means what? One is a likely negative consequence. What is one meaning? One of the meanings. A likely negative consequence. You should always think of the implications. What does it mean? You have to think of the likely negative consequences. The second meaning, something you can infer. What is the second meaning? Something you can infer. You can draw inference from a situation or a statement. In this context, it is not indication, it is implication. So what is the answer here? Slowly I see a lot of students, the body language has already changed and others are slowly transforming. Whenever I come across questions or sentences like this, I'm a little worried. One of the reasons, see, a lot of students here, questions like this, frankly speaking, they prefer bilingual approach. What do they prefer? Bilingual approach, because these are not that easy to understand at the outset. Second, the master uses only English, and his English also not easy to understand for some students. So it is like double trouble. A situation like this, the master resorts to Telugu, students are very happy, and the entire body language changes. They become very attentive and they listen very carefully. But I'm sorry, it is not going to happen. You have to raise your standards and try to understand. And sometimes what happens, you cannot understand immediately. That danger is always there. Imagine I want to listen to a French guy. I know a little French, not a lot. And you all know a lot of English, but I know a little French, not a lot. I try to listen to a French guy. At the outset, I may not understand a few expressions, but I listen twice, thrice, then will I be able to understand or not? So some questions you have to spend more time. That's what you have to tell yourself. Some questions, only one listening, you can get the answer. You can follow the master. A few questions, you have to listen twice, thrice, then it will be easy for you. Okay? So, what is the answer here? A is the answer. How many? What? First one is what? B. Second is what? A. B, A. Only one option or more options are there? Which option is that? So what is the answer? The fourth option is the answer. Fortunately, they have given only 2 questions. Be happy. Now, these questions are based on usage. Not that easy. You have to read how many sentences? 4 sentences, and you have to decide which one is not right. That is what you're supposed to do. I'll read out, but try to underline certain words. Here, this question is based on, question number 16 is based on, now be attentive, these you can relate, you can understand, based on the phrases and idioms, not based on grammar. But the instructions say what? Based on grammar. So, but this question is based on usage, based on phrases and idioms. Now, please underline, I'll read out the first one. There is no question about the validity of the story that he has told us. Some problem with the word. Please underline, no question about. That is an idiomatic expression. What does it mean? No doubt about. No question about, no doubt about the validity. That means what he has said is true. This is right. She told him that marriage was out of question. This you must be knowing. Out of question means what? Ruled out. It is not going to happen. So this is right or wrong? Please underline out of question. The meeting is out of question. The bonus is out of question. Means what? Not going to happen. It is only a question of time. Please underline a question of time. It is only a question of time means what? A matter of time. Matter of time. So all the 3 are what? Phrases and idioms. What is the last one? He questioned her right to use the money. He questioned her right to use the money. So underline the word questioned. Is it a word or a phrase or an idiom? Only a word. So 3 options are right. They are based on phrases and idioms. One question is based on a particular word. That way, you have to consider the 4th option. Has anyone thought of the 4th option? Oh, that's really surprising. And I appreciate. That's good. Shall I move on to the next one? This is rather easy. What is the word here? Deal. You have a question? You have a question? No. The committee is expected to deal with, please underline. Is this right or wrong? Deal with the problem, deal with this matter, deal with someone, deal with something. Absolutely right. He has amassed, underline the word, means what? He has got a lot of wealth. All his wealth by dealing with cocaine. Trading would have been better, doing business would have been better, but dealing with cocaine you don't become rich. It is not right. We'll check other options also. This book deals with common errors in English. Perfect. Underline, deals with what? In this office, she deals with all the enquiries. She deals with what? Right or wrong? So which option is not correct? Second option is not correct. That's why I said this is rather easy. Only 2 questions. Each sentence looks like a paragraph, time taking. That is the reason why I have been telling you people, please focus on reading a lot. Every day read. Then what happens? 2 advantages. 1, your comprehension level goes up. Second, your speed. Now what is your average, what is your speed? Let me ask a $1 million question for a change. Frank response I want. How many of you know for sure your speed of reading? How many words per minute? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. What is your speed? 150 words. What is your speed? The other student. 169. Oh, very specific. What is your speed? 100. Please give them a big hand. I have been singing this song for so many months. What is the song? Second song. First song we don't want to repeat. What is the second one? You have to know your speed. Without knowing your speed, how do you know whether you're ready for the exam or not? I told many a time, if you take CAT exam, the expected speed is 150 words per minute. For bank exams, you can bring it down a little. In the past, it was like 100 words per minute. Now it is not like that. 125 to 150, between 125 words and 150 words. Now slowly they are moving towards CAT. Right or wrong? That means what should be your speed? 150 words per minute. This is the first thing you have to find out. Imagine you try to find out. You may ask, sir, why should we find out? What is the big deal in that? I will tell the advantages. Once you know, before I tell the advantages, I would like to give a quote. What is that quote? If you know your problem, half the problem is solved. What is it? If you know your problem, half the problem is solved. Imagine you know your speed. You use a stopwatch for 1 week. Every day you read different essays, polity related, economy related, and you take the average. You know your speed is about 80 words or 90 words or 100 words per minute. Then no one has to tell you. You can tell yourself you are not ready for the exam. Do you understand what I say? Then what will you do if you are really serious about getting selected? What will you try to do? You will try to improve your speed, increase the speed, right or wrong. And then you will do that deliberately, intentionally, till you reach the required speed. Then you feel comfortable. When it comes to the exam, you don't focus on the speed, you focus on comprehension. Do you understand what I say? So please do that. Try to find out your speed, and if it is not the required speed, try to improve yourself. Very important. Now, shall I read out this sentence? I know a lot of students must be thinking, sir, sooner the better. Right? Parents and teachers are becoming increasingly concerned about protecting children and the drugs which are available to them. First, at the outset, this is right or wrong? Will they protect children? They protect acceptable. Will they protect the drugs? So, based on this, protecting children, to that extent it is right, and the drugs, that is not right. That means what? You have to choose one of the options. What are the options here? Protecting children and the drugs. Repeated, I think. Protecting of children. Protection of children is correct. Protecting of children, is it right or wrong grammatically? Mark it wrong. Again, and the drugs, not correct. Protecting children from their availability to drugs. Seems right, hold that one at the outset. Protecting children from the drugs, availability to them. Drugs availability to them, grammatically right or wrong? Protecting children from the drugs available to them. Now you have to decide between the third and fifth. Protecting children from their availability to drugs. Their availability is not correct. So what is the fifth option? Protecting children from the drugs available to them. This is absolutely right. How many of you have got the fifth option? That's very good. Perfect. This is a little tricky based on the knowledge of subject and the context. Although today it is cost effective to make perfumes with synthetic ingredients, they used to make the classic fragrances from flowers. At the outset, this looks right. Does anyone think it is grammatically wrong? Please respond. No. It seems right grammatically. But here, that's why I said presence of mind. What is the subject here? Is it people or is it fragrances? Fragrances. Underline the word fragrances. When we talk about someone or something, we call that someone or something the subject. If the subject receives action, fragrances do action or receive action? Receive. Then you have to use active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. But here the sentence is in active voice or passive voice? So, is it right or wrong? Wrong. Mark it wrong. Now you cannot consider they used to. The classic fragrances used to be made from flowers. Hold this one. The classic fragrances used to be made by them only from flowers. The classic fragrances used to be made from flowers only. Consider third and fourth. Only flowers used to make the classic fragrances. Not at all right. Now here in the passage, in the question, what are the words in bold? Do you see the word only in bold? That means what? In the option you should not consider the word only. I said 3 and 4. In both you have only, right? Then what is the second option? The classic fragrances used to be made from flowers. Is it right or wrong? So how many of you have got the second option right? Perfect. So what is the answer here? The classic fragrances used to be made from flowers. Used to be made by them from flowers. Only is not there because only is not in bold. This is the toughest. Here you see 4 sentences, they form a paragraph. You have to select the parts which are correct. One more is there. Which one is that? See now, earlier I would bring each page 2 columns. To make it easy, I brought 3 columns. So yesterday and today also. Sometimes what happens, we skip. Now question number 20. Appearing to be the only candidate. Does it sound right or wrong? Here students ask me, sir, sometimes we say, being a holiday, we decided to go out. What is the actual expression here? It being a holiday. The subject is what? It being a holiday. They have given in a few exams. Appearing to be the only candidate. So this is not right. How many of you think this is not right? Now we have to check the options. Appearing to be, seeming to be. If you don't consider appearing to be, you cannot consider seeming to be. Because he appeared to be what? The only candidate, this seems right. Hold that one. Because he seemed the only candidate whose views would be acceptable to its membership. Which one seems better? Because he appeared to be, because he seemed, because he appeared to be. That completes the entire, gives a complete picture. So what is the answer based on that? Because he appeared to be. That is the right answer. Fifth option. What is it? Last time also some students asked the same doubt, they expressed the same doubt, because I remember initially I said, some students, this is a repeat question. Last time a few students said, sir, why not the fifth option? Being the only candidate whose views would be acceptable, why not that one? But actually, being the only candidate, here we cannot use because the subject is not very clear. We have to use the subject. What is the subject? If you select the third option, what is the subject? He is the subject. Without the subject, straight away you cannot start. Being the only candidate whose views would be acceptable to the membership, the Youth Caucus endorsed George Avery for city. The third option is a better one. Looking at the meaning and comprehension point of view. Okay? If the context is there, perhaps you can consider the fifth option. But all these are, let me tell you, sometimes what happens, many of these sentences, they take from a particular context. Some magazine, some newspaper. You don't know the background information, you don't know the context, then sometimes it's very difficult to decide what is the right answer. Is it this one or that one? In that situation, always go for the better one. If you have to choose between the third and fifth, which one is crystal clear, no ambiguity? Third option, obviously, go for that. Very simple. Okay. Shall I move on to the next one? These are really difficult. So you have to select the parts which are grammatically correct, right? And here you have to consider the punctuation, including spelling, punctuation, and logical consistency. In 1849, a poor Bavarian immigrant named Levi Strauss, is this right or wrong? I want response from your side. Mark it wrong. What is the reason? Immigrant, what is the spelling? Single M or double M? So underline that. Not correct. Landed in San Francisco, California. Right or wrong? Hold that one. At the invitation of his brother-in-law, David Stern. Generally we say on the invitation of. Mark it wrong. Owner of dry goods business. This dry goods business would later became or become. This is wrong. Now you have to check how many are right. C and E. Hope you are listening. I'm sorry. B and D we haven't considered. We have to check. B and owner of dry goods business. That seems right. Hold that one. Do we have that option B and D? There is no option. So based on that, what I felt, this is a personal thing, analysis. Generally there is nothing like dry goods business. We don't use that expression. Wet goods business, dry goods business. Have you ever heard that expression? Perhaps that expression is not right. If you don't consider that one, which option is that? D. Because the same expression has been used, then which option is right? B only. Which option is that? The first option, B only. Landed in San Francisco, California. Shall I move on to the next one? Hope you guys are listening carefully. In response to the allegations, underline the word allegations, and condemnation pouring in. Condemnation we don't use in the plural form. Allegations in the plural form, condemnation singular form. Pouring in, that is acceptable. As such, there is no error here. Hold this one. Nike implemented comprehensive changes. Please underline the word comprehensive. You have got this word many a time. Comprehensive means what? All inclusive, exhaustive, covering everything. Usually it goes with syllabus, comprehensive syllabus. Changes in their labor policy. Is this right or wrong? Immediate response. No, you guys have to respond. Who says wrong? Raise your hands. That is right, but why is it wrong? Please, what is the subject here? Nike. Singular or plural? Then can you use in their labor policy? What is the correct expression? Its labor policy. Please correct it. There is not correct. Its labor policy. Perhaps sensing the rising tide of global labor concerns, this seems right. From the public would become a prominent media issue. This also seems right. Hold that one. Nike sought to be a industry. Is it right or wrong? No, generally we say the industry leader. What is the expression here? The, not an. The industry leader. That's a standard expression. Now, how many do you think they are right? A and. You have to decide between A and E or A and D. E is already wrong. So which option says with A, only one option is there. Which one is that? A and D, right? That means what? C is not right. Are you listening? I will repeat. You have to be attentive, otherwise it becomes a problem. A is right or wrong? First, we take A. A is right. How many options are there with A? Two options. What are those two options? What are the two options? No, it got stuck. Give me a minute. Number 22. So there are two options with A and E, A and D. But already I've got E is not correct. So what is the answer based on that? A and D. But why C is wrong? B is wrong. What is the reason? Their labor policy is not correct. It's labor policy. E is wrong. What is the reason? The industry leader. Why C is wrong? Perhaps sensing the rising tide of global labor concerns. What is wrong with that? Perhaps sensing the rising tide of the global labor concerns. Perhaps related to article. Otherwise, I don't see any mistake. As such, no error. Whatever it is, we'll move on to the next question. Question number 23. Charges and countercharges mean nothing. Sounds right or wrong? No, if you don't respond, I will also get disconnected. Very simple. All of you please remember, some questions are very difficult to comprehend. What I expect from you, right or wrong, you respond. Wrong doesn't matter. But at least I know you are with me. But you don't respond, then what happens? Who am I talking to? I go off the track. I get switched off. That is not a good thing. So charges and countercharges mean nothing. Right or wrong? It seems right. To the few million who have lost their home or homes. So mark B wrong. B is wrong. Lost their homes. The nightmare is far from over for the government. Hold that one. Is still unable to reach hundreds who are marooned, but the context goes into past, who are or who were marooned. So D is not correct. The death count, have or has, that's also not right. So what is right here? A is right and C is also right. What is the answer based on that? Third option is the answer. Somehow today it hasn't been going on well. For some time mic problem, now screen problem. Now questions 24 and 25. Please be focused. These two questions deal with what? Something like double trouble. Two words. And the first sentence, African context. If you read magazines like The Economist magazine, they write about around the world the major hotspots or problematic areas, and this looks familiar. But first you underline the word genocides. Genocide, I've given regular batches, I said this is an important word. What is the meaning of the word genocide? Genocide means what? Homicide means one person kills another person. That is called a case of homicide. Genocide means killing persons of a particular race or community. So please write the meaning. Killing people of a particular race. The genocides in Bosnia and Rwanda, apart from being misdescribed, in the most sinister, please underline the word sinister. Sinister means very bad or cruel, completely negative. Sinister outlook, sinister attitude, write the combinations also. Sinister and, that means you have to choose a positive word or a negative word. Negative word, remember that. Sinister and manner as ethnic cleansing. Underline the word ethnic. Ethnic means what? Traditional, related to a particular group. Were also blamed in further hand-washing rhetoric. Underline the word rhetoric. This goes with politicians, public speeches. Usually politicians in public, typically politicians, they say certain things repeatedly. They say, they make statements like, I have dedicated myself to the welfare of the community. Everyone knows to what extent it is true. I am here, I will live till the last breath for the welfare of the public. That also people can understand. So these dialogues or statements are known as what? Rhetoric. On something dark and interior too, and perpetrators, underline that word. That means what? Those who commit the mistake or commit the crime. Can you use the word innovative? It is positive, mark it wrong. Enchanting, attracting a lot, positive, mark it wrong. Disingenuous means what? Something like deceitful, dishonest, a negative word, hold that one. And what is the next one? Victims and those who commit the crime. That seems right, hold that one also. Exigent, exigent means something urgent, important, pressing or demanding. Don't write, I'll show the screen. Exploiters, here exigent is not right. Exploiters and perpetrators, both on the same scale, not correct. Tragic, sufferers. We cannot use the word tragic here. So what is the answer based on that? How many of you have chosen the third option? That is the answer. Disingenuous and victims. The next one is rather easy. What is the context? Navigators, as navigators, calendar makers and other of the night sky accumulated evidence to the contrary. Ancient astronomers were forced to, please underline the expression forced to, that certain bodies might move in circles about points which in turn moved in circles about the earth. So what is this context about? Astronomy and astrology. Precisely astronomy. And you have to talk about, generally these people, they observe a lot. Underline the word scrutinize. Scrutinize means what? To look at something, looking for details, meticulously. Observers, underline the word observers. You have two options with scrutinizers, two options with observers. But can you use the word students here? No. Reject that one. So scrutinizers believe, agree, suggest, concede. Here, the word suggest is not relevant here. Now the context says, were forced to believe, or forced to agree, or forced to concede. You have to select one of the three. What is the meaning of the word concede? Concede means what? Initially you say something is wrong, you don't accept, but after some time, because of the situation, because of the evidence, you admit and you accept that. In this context, what do you understand? Ancient astronomers, initially they denied something. Later they had to admit or accept something. So what is the right answer based on that? Which option has the word concede? So what is the answer? Fourth option is the answer. I see some students, they are completely lost. They look so sad. What is going on? Very unfortunate. Now be happy, the last 5 questions about what? Errors, your favorite. So we'll do it very fast. We have only 10 minutes. 26, question number 26. I'll read out the sentence, you tell me where the error is. Then I'll say right or wrong. The president has denied that the economy is in recession. Please underline the verb is in recession. Also underline has denied or was going to one despite a spate of downcast reports. Now the context, what do you understand? The President talks about the present and the past, underline the verb was, or the President talks about the present and the future. What does he talk about? The context. Generally you talk about the present in this context, present and future or present and past. The President has denied that the economy is in recession. It is not in recession, and usually we say, we talk about the future, and it is not going to enter the cycle of recession, will not go into one. It is not in recession, will not go into one. That means what? Present and future. Why will he talk about the past? It is usually from the President of a country. Usually they talk about the present. He started with the present. It is not in recession, and it will not go into recession. So based on that, where is the error? How many of you thought the third one? That is, the error is there. And please change was to will go into. Will go into one. It is not in recession, will not go into one. The angry at being left out the bonanza is palpable. Please underline. Bonanza means what? Something like you get a reward or a gift or whatever it is. Positive. On a large scale. Palpable. Underline that word. What is the meaning of that? Understandable. Palpable means what? Understandable, digestible, acceptable among employees of the organization. Now, where is the error? How many of you say the first part? That's absolutely right. Here we cannot use the expression angry. We have to say the anger. So, what is the correct expression? The anger at being left out the bonanza is palpable among the employees of the organization. Not angry, anger. Have you corrected that one? Question number 28. His comments came after the research group said that its consumer confidence index was slumped to its lowest level. Please underline. So where is the error? So what is the correct expression? Was, not were. Index is singular. 29. If all goes well, the examination schedule for next month is all set to be completely free. I don't know whether they've done intentionally or they wanted to use some other word. Free annoying power cuts and disruptions. You see the word free 2 times. First, where is the error? Third part or fourth part? Who says fourth part? Fourth part is right. What is the right word? Free from. So where is the error? Is all said to be completely free from annoying power cuts and disruptions. Free from what? Power cuts and disruptions. No, any question? Do you have a question? Okay. Shall I move on to the next one? So all of you please remember, like that boy asked me, sometimes 1 or 2 students, girls, they ask me, sir, why not this, why not that? Any doubt, perhaps you cannot raise your voice or you cannot shoot the question. What I suggest, raise your hand and look at me. Then I will ask you, do you have any problem? Shall I repeat? Then you can say, sir, please explain again. Or you can say, sir, I am not convinced. Then I will try to rephrase my words. You understand what I say? But I can make out from your face, you are not convinced. I could make out. Then don't hold it like that. That is not a good thing. Ask immediately. Now convinced or not convinced? Fine. The last question. There are just few trains for the ever-grown number of passengers in the city. Where is the error? Second part. Is it ever-growing? So please add ing. Ever-growing passengers.